All right, Huskies. Guess what? Your math lesson is not on Zern today. It's me, Leah. I'm super excited. I get to teach you a math lesson. We are going to tackle Module 4, Lesson 11, which is the lesson that mysteriously disappeared from Zern. So here we are. Before we get started, for the warm up and the figure it out, you're going to need a piece of paper or a notebook and a math pen, just like we used to use in class. So go ahead and pause the video. Make sure that you have a piece of paper or a notebook handy and a pen as well. Okay, hopefully you have your pen and a piece of paper because here is the warm up. You're going to show 3 different ways to break apart a right angle. You know now that a right angle measures 90 degrees. So we have 3 different ways that you can break apart 90 degrees. Go ahead and write equations for each one, showing what value belongs in the missing part of the number bond. So x equals, t equals, and n equals. If you need to pause the video so that you have some time to work, go ahead and do that, and we'll come back and share some thinking. Okay, I'm about to share some thinking, so if you forgot to pause the video and you're still working on finding the missing angles, go ahead and pause right now. For the first one, hopefully you found that the missing angle is 55. You said that 35 plus something equals 90, or you could say 90 minus 35 equals x. And in this case, 35 goes with 55 to make 90. In the second number bond, you see that something goes with 27 to make 90, or 90 minus 27 equals t. In this case, 63 and 27 go together to make 90. In the third example, 52 plus something makes 90, or 90 minus 52 is that missing part. And in that case, 38 and 52 go together to make 90. So this is hopefully reviewing some of the work you've done, breaking apart a right angle. Figure it out. Happy birthday, Willa Sulfrian. It is your birthday. And we've heard a rumor that you got a pretty amazing birthday cake. In this figure it out problem, Willa gets an amazing fondant covered birthday cake to help her celebrate her big day today. Here's what's left for her family after Willa has her share. So you see here in the image that Willa has eaten 78 degrees worth of cake. Good work, Willa. What is the angle measure of the cake left for Willa's family? So again, you're going to pause the video here so you have some time to figure out your thinking. Go ahead and set up an equation and find the missing angle that measures the rest of the cake left for her family. Okay, I'm about to share some thinking. So if you forgot to pause, this is a good time to pause so that you have some more time to do your calculations or to figure out your thinking. All right. So I thought to myself, well, you guys have been working on the fact that a full turn is 360 degrees. Remember, you did some work with the clock at the beginning of this week and just before the week of enrichment. If you think about a full turn or a full circle or all the way around the clock face, it's 360 degrees. That means if Willa's cake is a circular cake, the full angle measure around the turn is 360 degrees. So if she ate 78 degrees worth, we could add that with some missing part left for her family to make a total of 360. So I set up an equation here on the bottom of the screen, 78 degrees plus something for the rest of her family equals 360. You could do a quick subtraction that could be mental math or that could be you using the algorithm to figure out that 360 minus 78 equals 282, or some of you may have added up. You may have said 78 degrees plus 200 plus another 2 plus 80 or something along those lines. But the missing angle left for her family is 282 degrees. Okay, so what's new or new-ish? We can find the measure of missing angles by using what we know about other angles. Like in the figure it out problem, it wasn't told to us that a full turn is 360 degrees, but we know that now based on our study of angles and what we know about how angles work. So we can use that type of information to find the measure of missing angles. We're going to do that kind of work today, so get ready. Here's an example. In this image, what if we asked, how can we find the measure of angle X? So take a look. How could we figure out the measure of angle X? On your paper and using your pen, what would you do to find the measure of that missing angle X? If you want to pause to do your thinking work, go ahead and do that. If you want to turn and talk with a family member about how you might figure out that missing angle X, feel free to do so. But do some thinking. How would you figure out the measure of that missing angle X? Okay, here's how I thought about it. So again, if you haven't paused the video to give yourself some real think time, go ahead and pause so that you have a chance to think through it. So the diagram shows us the measure of two angles, a 120-degree obtuse angle on the left, right here where my mouse is, so that's 120 degrees, that is an obtuse angle over there, and a right angle measuring 90 degrees right here. There's a third angle that we know the measure of. It's not marked, but based on what you've been learning about angles, there's a third angle that you know the measure of. You know that a whole turn around a point measures 360 degrees. So if I start my mouse here and I imagine going all the way around this point, that full turn is 360 degrees. I can use that as the total number of degrees for this image. So that means that if I think about it as 120 degrees, 90 degrees, and x degrees, that makes a full turn, which should equal 360 degrees in all. So if I want to calculate the missing angle x, all I have to do is set up an equation. 120 degrees plus 90 degrees plus that missing angle x makes a total of 360 degrees because, again, the full turn around this point adds up to 360 degrees. So if I put 120 plus 90 plus the missing angle x, that gives me a full turn, which adds up to 360. 120 plus 90 is 210. 210 plus that missing angle x equals 360. You could either do subtraction or you could add up to find that the missing angle x equals 150 degrees. Double check your work by adding 150 plus 120 plus 90. Those three angles should add up to the full turn of 360 degrees. Here's another one. We have two intersecting lines here. How could we find the measure of angle P? Again, pause the video so that you have some think time. You can turn and tell a family member how you might find the measure of angle P, or you could do some calculations on your paper using your pen. Okay, I'm about to share some thinking, so if you didn't pause, this is a good time to remind yourself, whoops, I gotta pause the video so I have some think time. Here's how I thought about it. The diagram shows us three angles in this case. The measure of this angle here is an acute angle, 33 degrees. This angle at the bottom is an obtuse angle, 147 degrees. And this angle over here on the right is another acute angle of 33 degrees. There are other angles we could use to find missing angle P. Just like the last problem, we know that a whole turn around a point measures 360 degrees. So I could use that to help me find angle P. Or you've also learned that a straight angle is 180 degrees, or a straight angle measures 180 degrees. So I could use that to find angle P. Both of those are totally valid solutions. So you could use either approach depending on how you see the problem yourself. I'm going to show you both solutions on the next slide so that you can see what that work looks like. In the first example, you see that I've used my understanding or my awareness that a full turn equals 360 degrees. So that means that I know that this 33-degree angle plus this 147-degree angle plus this 33-degree angle plus the missing angle P, altogether they should add up to 360 degrees. So that's one way to find the missing angle P. I think a more straightforward solution or a little bit easier solution is to use the fact that a straight angle measures 180 degrees. And P plus this 33 degrees makes this straight angle, or P plus this 33 degrees also makes a straight angle of 180 degrees. So whatever the case, my equation would be 33 degrees plus that missing angle P equals 180. If you do your subtraction or you add up, you see that the missing angle P is 147 degrees. So those of you kind of thinking ahead a bit, yes, if you have two intersecting lines, the opposite angles, the opposite interior angles are equal. And that's something that you guys will explore a little bit more in the future. But it is pretty cool to see anytime you have two intersecting lines, opposite interior angles are equal. So this 33 is equal to this 33, and this 147 is equal to the missing angle P, or 147. So pro tip, that's a shortcut way to know what the missing angle P is. Last one. Oh, in this case, 3 missing angles. How can we find the measures of angles X and Y and Z? Last time I'm going to ask you to do this, go ahead and pause the video to do some calculating. You can either turn and tell a family member, or you can calculate yourself using your pen and paper or notebook to find those missing angles. I'm about to share some thinking, so if you forgot to pause to give yourself some think time, go ahead and pause the video now. All right, so here was how I thought about finding those missing angles. We only know one angle. This lonely little angle over here is an acute angle. It's a small little 20-degree angle right there. But there are other angles we could use to find the missing angles. We know, again, that a whole turn around a point equals 360 degrees. That circular angle measures 360 degrees. So all 4 angles adding up together should be 360 degrees. We also know that a straight angle is 180 degrees. So x plus 20 should add up to 180. Z plus 20 should equal that straight angle of 180. And we could use that to help us. We also, if we could find y or z, would be able to see that this is another straight angle, and y plus z should equal 180 as well. But right now, those are both unknown angles, so that's not going to help us very much. But it might as we move forward. So here's how I thought about it. In the first situation, I said that 20, this angle here, plus this missing angle x, which is an obtuse angle, those two angles, when added together, should make that straight angle of 180 degrees. So I could set up an equation, 20 degrees plus the missing angle x equals a straight angle measuring 180 degrees. Simple calculation, 20 plus 160 makes 180. You see now why I had you do that warm up where you broke apart 90 degrees. You're going to be doing a lot of thinking, breaking apart either 90 or 180, or even calculating within 360 degrees today. So that was a helpful warm up to get your brain ready for this work. So 160 degrees plus 20 degrees makes that straight angle of 180. So now we know x. X is 160 degrees, and it goes with that 20-degree angle to make 180 degrees in all. Let's move on to y. I now see that x and y together make another straight angle that is the blue line. So x plus y should equal 180. I just found out that x is 160 degrees. So I have a new equation, 160 degrees plus y equals 180 degrees. And sure enough, that means that y is equal to 20. If you were listening before and I said when two lines intersect, opposite interior angles are equal, that means that sure enough, 20 and angle y are the same. But we just used a straight angle x plus y to show that that's also proving that y is equal to 20 degrees. One more. To find angle z, you have two possibilities. You could use the fact that a circular angle equals 360 degrees, or you could use that this straight angle made by what used to be angle y and z would add up to 180 degrees. I think it's a little more straightforward and a little bit, fewer calculations to do the 20 degrees plus z equals 180, but you're welcome to solve it whatever way makes sense to you. So if you use the solution where you found that a circular angle added up to 360 degrees, you'd add 20 plus 160 plus 20 plus this missing angle z would add up to 360. And that would give you a total for angle z of 160, because 20 plus 20 is 40. Put those together with 160 to make 200. you need 160 degrees to go with 200 to make 360. If you use the straight angle here, then you know that 20 degrees plus angle Z equals 180. The only thing that goes with 20 to make 180 is 160 in this case. So two possible solutions, both give you the same answer of 160 degrees. You'll be doing lots of problems like this today in your problem set. Instead of doing your problem set on Zearn, you're going to click here to complete today's problem set. Not in this video, obviously, but if you're in the slideshow view, you'll be able to click this link here to go to today's problem set, or there's a link right on your assignment sheet that Stephanie and I gave you as well. Either one will work. So my suggestion is, if you feel like you need it, go now and click on your assignment sheet to review this lesson using the slideshow. Or if you feel comfortable and you're ready to try some problems on your own, go ahead and click on the assignment sheet to your problem set and start working right away. All right, Huskies, I really miss doing math with you, so this was a fun chance to kind of revisit the olden days. We'll hopefully talk to you again soon.